What have you made there, Vincey Lou?
Subscribe.
Nice. Why have we got a whiteboard? Because I'm going to do some whiteboard videos.
Whiteboard videos.
I'm going to teach how the Reserve Bank of Australia works in a way that a child can understand. What do you reckon?
Cool.
Is it possible?
No.
You could be right, but we'll find out. Okay, so whiteboard time. Vincey's laughing at me. Yeah, what I wanted to do, on this channel, some of the things I want to talk about is economics and the finance, the banking system. So I've learnt a lot from a guy called George Gammon who does these whiteboard videos, right? And I'm just going to do my take on a set of whiteboard videos that he put together for you guys. So let's get started with this, right? What are we going to learn today? Basically, this is the part one of many parts using just whiteboards and figurines and these little coloured magnets.
They look really cool.
What's that?
They look really cool.
They look really cool, apparently. So what I'm going to take you through today is the very basics. What happens when this woman, Alice Smith, goes over to Dan Murphy over here and purchases something from Dan Murphy? What happens to her dollars when they go through the banking system? This is the basics, but some of the things you learn might surprise you. So up here on the corner here, we've got just a guide. So the silver ones here are dollars, effectively, and they're not real dollars, obviously. We pretty much all know now that they're just numbers in a computer. Okay. These I guess rose gold ones are bank reserves, and the purple ones are treasuries or mortgage-backed securities. And I won't go into the definition of those on this one today. Okay, so in this example, we have our central bank, the Reserve Bank of Australia, or the RBA. We also have two of our bigger banks here. You've got the ANZ, who's this little raptor dude, and there's another raptor here, which is the CBA, the Commonwealth Bank of Australia. And then we have here a business, Dan Murphy's, and we have a person who's spending their money in the economy, Alice Smith in this case. And as you can see, I've put down the balance sheets of each of these entities. So on the balance sheet, you've got assets and liabilities. So the balance sheet of the RBA right now currently looks like the assets column. It's got treasuries, mortgage-backed securities, those types of things. On the liabilities section, it's got bank reserves, okay, which are effectively IOUs, right? On the ANZ side, we've got assets, which are their bank reserves, right? And liabilities. And their liability in this case is $1 that at some point in time Alice has deposited into the bank, and that's a liability on their sheet. It's an IOU. They have to pay up on that IOU if Alice comes in and wants to take that $1 back in this case. The CBA is the same. So Alice is banking with the ANZ. Dan Murphy's is banking with the CBA in this example. I don't know if that's actually accurate. I don't know who Dan Murphy's really banking with. Anyway, so, and you can see at the CBA side, they've also got assets, which are their bank reserves, and they've got a liability, which is $1 that Dan Murphy's has got deposited with that bank. Okay, so one day Alice decides that she wants to mosey on down to see Dan and buy herself a nice bottle of wine. So she goes to Dan Murphy's and says, hey, I want a bottle of wine. And they say, sure. And they say, that'll be $50, or that'll be one of your IOUs, one of your dollars. Okay, so she says, okay, no worries. She swipes her card, and effectively, let's see what happens here. So, in this instance, she swipes her card, and her dollar goes from her bank ANZ as a liability over to the CBA. So now the ANZ has 0 liabilities, and the CBA has 2 liabilities, but only 1 asset to cover that liability. But that's not okay. So the banks need to make sure that their assets cover their liabilities, okay? And so now what we're looking at here, these are the bank reserves, right? So these are on the asset sides of both bank. So when the dollar went from the ANZ to the CBA, the ANZ then also had to transfer over their asset to match the liability. And so what happens is the asset, which is the bank reserve, transfers from the ANZ's account with the RBA into the CBA's account with the RBA, like so. Okay? So just stepping back here, right? In this original example, we've got 2 bank reserves in here. One of these bank reserves at the RBA is owned by the ANZ, and one of them is owned by the CBA. Once the transaction goes through, the liability transfers, and then also the assets or the bank reserve has to transfer across to the CBA. That means that now both of these bank reserves on the liability side of the RBA's balance sheet now belong to the CBA. The ANZ has 0 assets or 0 bank reserves and 0 liabilities now, and the CBA has 2 bank reserves in this case and 2 liabilities, which is the dollar that went across from Alice's account into Dan Murphy's account. And that's how it works. Okay? This is how it works in a general transaction. So this is number 1. This is the basic. This is the starting point. We just need to get our head around this, and then once I start to unpack this further in future videos, you're going to see that it gets really crazy. We'll talk about loans, we'll talk about quantitative easing, all these sort of things. I'm going to outline it for you in as simple a way as possible so you can understand what's going on. But for now, hopefully we've got this basic down. The world might be pink. What did you used to sing? I thought that was Ooga Booga.
No.
Ooga Booga hairy legs under my seat.
No.
Under my feet. Went to the movies, couldn't find a seat. When the movie started, Ooga Booga farted.
No, Mickey Mouse farted.
You guys used to say Mickey Mouse.
Do you know the Tulsa one? Itty Mitty Mighty Mo, catch it? No. Did it? Oh, I forgot what it was.
Pressure's on. Alright, so we're going to go out, and I need to mend the fence because Charlie, in his wisdom, has found a gap and he's able to get through from one paddock to the next. At the moment he's in a house side paddock, so it's fine, but because I brought him in because it was quite wet, but he's going to be out in the other paddock with the sheep, so I need to make sure he stays out there, he doesn't try and get through that fence. Let's have a look. All right, so Charlie dog. So yeah, he's supposed to be in this paddock with the sheeple, but he's been able to get through into this little grassed area.
Wait, how did he?
Which is not good.
Did he shoot through
I didn't even see him.
the rope again?
Sorry.
Did he shoot through the rope again?
No, it's just I had him tied up to something that was longer, and he made it all the way over here, and then he came through this bit of the fence because he can just get his paws over.
That's what happened last time, but with the rope, he actually chewed it through.
And so the bottom bit's alright because it's got this chicken wire, and then down as far as here is okay because there's chicken wire, but then there's no chicken wire from here to there. So what I think we'll do, I've got this dog mesh. Rather than just waste it and use heaps of it, what we'll do is I'll roll it out, and then we'll cut a bit like around about that size, so 5 sort of sections long, and I'll cut all the way up with the thing. So Vinci, you want to film?
Yeah.
Alright, so it's Jasper, I'm going to need you to give me a hand. So put down the hammer and the fence staples for now.
Can I put this down?
Yeah, you can put that down. Okay. So Jasper, just be careful, right? What I need you to do for me is just to stand on this end, right?
Okay.
Your feet spread apart. So 1 foot here, 1 foot here. Here, just here. This foot here. And put that other foot over there. Alright, now just stay there, okay? And I'm going to walk this out and see how much we've got.
Enough.
Yeah. Alright, so you want to just stand here for me and you can just film that way and I'll just cut it. Thanks.
Okay, so we finished the wire. What is it? What is it? Chicken wire.
This is dog mesh.
Dog mesh.
Yeah. Alright, Jasper, you can jump off. Just stand out the way. That's it. Careful.
There's a fly annoying me.
Stand out the way. I don't want you to get jabbed by it. Okay. Cool. Careful, Vincent, because it's going to go right there. No. Don't do that.
Can I go inside?
No, don't, because just stand out the way, because this is sharp and it might get in your eye. Okay?
So, what are we doing? Pardon? What did you say?
I'm just Kyle trying to sing it right.
Pardon?
Just Kyle trying to sing it right.
Okay. So I bet the flies are just wondering what we're doing. That's why they landed on us. But there's so many of them.
Josh, can you just over there again for me? Just got to open the door.
What are you doing? Just sniffing the pole. So many flies! Daddy? You want to show the guys what you're doing? Don't stop filming. Dad, one of the lambs just came to look. Dad, look. I don't think they've done that
I
before.
like that voice. Hey, Lammy! Come and see me.
It looks really far away on this camera. Wait, who is that?
Huh?
That's Puff Puff.
Alright, so that's better. Much better.
Not me.